Travis Wayne Goodsell. I don't know how long ago it was when I did the video condemning CNN for getting their fast facts wrong about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Used cab out front.
Used cab outside,
Whoever
huh?
called the used cab, they're waiting for you.
Let's pull up the account. Still need to check and see if they got to my appeal today. And do a search. CNN. Utah Mormons, more Utah Mormons moms. Utah Mormon moms against children goes CNN National. There's no picture on it. YouTube Mormon employees still whites out local news and CNN. Yep. Ah, there it is. CNN lies about and rewrites LDS Mormon church history. That's the one. Cool. It was an hour and 8-minute 47-second video. The good old days. So let's see if we can be quicker, obviously, and see if they've made the same mistakes, just regurgitating the information they put on that old video, such as Joseph Smith started polygamy in the 1835 edition of the Doctrine and Covenants. Dear God, did you guys even bother to check it? He had a chapter on monogamy, not polygamy. So, here's a look. Junior, birth and death dates, founded the church. Nope, error. He founded the Church of Christ. Wasn't the Church of Jesus Christ. So already they screwed up. He is seen as a living prophet. The Book of Mormon is believed to be the result of Joseph Smith's communion with the divine. No! But that's through research, so yeah, that the church is lying about that to CNN. Common nickname, Mormon, yeah. Joseph Smith claimed to have begun receiving messages 14 from God and other heavenly messengers. See how much the lies spread to other people? The church is making sure no one knows the truth. They were visions. What does the Book of Mormon say visions are? Dreams. They're not real. And if you need to understand why, I refer you to the Book of Numbers, chapter 12, verse 6. It's where Aaron and Miriam want to form a coup on Moses. So, quite hilarious. This is Jewish mystical writing, guys. It's not literal history, not the Book of Mormon. It's the learning of the Jews. Messianic literature, not literal history. There's a difference. It's a form of fiction writing. It uses prophetic writing, like the Book of Revelation. Mormons consider themselves to be Christian. That's true. They're supposed to be Jewish. They turned Joseph Smith into a Christian because they're bigots and racists. But yeah, Nelson is pushing away from the Book of Mormon, guys. So you may see Book of Mormon here. Nelson, nope, all about Jesus now. He's doing away with Joseph, doing away with the Book of Mormon. It's all about Jesus. Just look at the church news and the church website. That's all they talk about now. It's Jesus this and Jesus that. And they don't bring up ascension. They just crucifixion and resurrection. When I was a kid, it was all about Jesus' ascension. That's how we're different. That's why we don't use the cross. We believe that Jesus is living because he ascended. That's what I told people on my missions even. And yet, nope, he's no longer ascended. He was just crucified and resurrected. So that's another change, and CNN is perpetuating that change here also. Serves for life. Organizational hierarchy. All male white general authorities. They don't say white. They should. Because even the Brazilian, he's white Brazilian, and the German, obviously. And then the Asian, yeah, well, he's from Redlands, California. He's, yeah, so, yeah. Children are baptized at 8. 2 priesthoods. Health code. Encouraged to tithe? No CNN. We are forced to pay tithes. If we do not pay a full tithe, we get punished. We are not allowed to participate in church. We are not allowed to hold office. We are not allowed to go on missions, get married, nothing. All we can do is sit in church and listen until we behave and pay up. It is not encouraged. We are encouraged to give other donations, but tithing, no, it's forced. It's a protection racket. It's to atone for Jesus Christ suffering for the Mormons. We have to pay him. He doesn't atone for us. We atone for Jesus. Oh, dear God. I found that out by looking up the definition of reparations to get a fuller understanding of what reparations means. And there was the word atone. And then that clicked. Oh. Got it. So James Huntsman really blew it in his lawsuit. Donation. It's not a donation, James. You were our savior and you blew it. You became a false prophet. Headquartered. Okay. Timeline. They don't go back to 1820. Huh. Okay. And they skip out on 1823. The bicentennial years next year, CNN. So they've taken out stuff from the timeline. And nope, they put gold instead of gold. It's gold plates. There's a reason. It's because it's not literal. There's a reason why it's gold Egyptian plates. Ex-Mormons, we need to work together on this. We need to push back on Mormons and say, no, it's gold. Here's the Joseph Smith papers. Gold. Nephi. Not Moroni. Nephi. You've got the wrong statue in the temples, Mormons. We need to all band together. We marry few. We marry band few. Gotta stop making jokes. Oh, no. Oh, they did one worse. 17 July 1831, Joseph Smith claims to have received the revelation commanding the practice of plural marriage. No, guys. No. Those came from journal entries who followed Brigham Young, who supported and were loyal to Brigham Young, who, after Brigham Young made it public to practice, because they were pissed off with that's also what I brought up with Brigham Young right as I was leaving. What a criminal he was. So let me go over with you Brigham Young's talk on that. Let's see. Brigham Young Journal of Discourses. Yeah. So it's journalofdiscourses.com/Brigham_Young. And you got to go down. They're not in order, but it's 1974. Or 1874, sorry. So sorry. It's been a while since I've referred to this. Why are all these in order? That's weird. Secret of Happiness, etc. It's from Volume 18, Discourse 30, pages 235 to 49. The full title is Secret of Happiness, Self-Examination, Joseph Smith, a Man of Obedience to God, Baptism for the Dead, Temporal and Spiritual One, A Dream, Order of Enoch, The Order of God, The Good Word for the Women. A Good Word for the Women. And he doesn't come right out and say polygamy. So you need to understand what he's talking about. Yep, here it is. Nope, that's the plates that he's referring to here. Oh. There's a trip to England. Yeah, here it is. It's in the paragraph that begins, "We were driven from Missouri after Joseph went up there, and we came to Nauvoo." You're referring to 116, which was forged about Adam on Diamond. Oh, man. Can't do all this talking. Have to put the mask back on and continue to mutilate my ear. And the 12 went to England. They had the wrong name of the church on their licenses, by the way. That's in the Joseph Smith papers. So, yeah, he's exposing a lot here. While we were in England, I think, the Lord manifested to me by visions and his Spirit things that I did not then understand. I never opened my mouth to any person concerning them until I returned to Nauvoo. What do you think he's talking about? Joseph had never mentioned this. There had never been a thought of it in the church. Remember, CNN says 1831. Brigham Young is saying never. And I knew anything about at that time. But I had this for myself, and I kept it to myself, and when I returned home, and Joseph revealed these things to me, I then understood the reflections that were upon my mind while in England. But this was not until after I had told him what I understood. I saw that he was after something by his conversation, leading my mind along and others to see how we could bear this. This was in 1841. The revelation was given in 1843, but the doctrine was revealed before this. And when I told Joseph what I understood, which was right in front of my house in the street, as he was shaking hands and leaving me, he turned round and looked me in the eyes, and says he, "Brother Brigham, are you speaking what you understand? Are you in earnest?" Says I speak just as the Spirit manifests to me. So he's not getting specific. We're supposed to input information in what he's talking about here. Says he, "God bless you. The Lord has opened your mind." And he turned and went off. And so it could have been completely something contrary. And Brigham is purposely using that to justify, and all Mormons go, "Oh, wow, Brigham is cool." And there's another one, I'm not sure where it is at the moment, but he totally mocks Joseph for being uneducated to do anything. talks about baptisms. So it was another talk that he had. But yeah, I went through and was doing a copy and paste of all this stuff, and dear God, was able to find things as I was perusing, going by and by. But yeah, Brigham Young claims to have came up with it himself. It was not Joseph. Referring to polygamy. And so it's 1832, actually, not 31, that Brigham Young dated with his linguistic pattern from his temple text and sealing text. Section 132 now. Because he gutted section 131, which Joseph Smith was talking with a monogamous couple about how they can be exalted in the highest degree of celestial kingdom. And so he takes that out and puts in section 132, where only polygamy gets to the exalted kingdom. And so now everybody believes that Joseph Smith was a polygamist. Nope, it does say 31. Okay, had been known since 31. No. Book of Mormon condemns it 5 times. His Doctrine and Covenants condemned it at least twice. I still have to go over the Joseph Smith Papers, Doctrine and Covenants 1835 version. He had the whole chapter on monogamy and section 131. And plus, I was also telling Sandra about how I understood about the one Smith ancestor who was at the Salem witch trial, who condemned the 2 sisters for being witches. So anti-witchcraft is in the family. And so how can he be a part of, well, that's different than polygamy, I guess, but it's sort of an affair, and the guy wanted to get away with his affair, so he accuses the one sister of a witch, and then the other sister... people were weird back then. You know, it was like cancel culture in the 1700s. Everybody was being accused of being a witch. Okay. Attacked by an anti-Mormon mob, and both men were killed. No, it was John Taylor and Willard Richards who murdered them. That's why they were there, is to make sure that happened. 19 July 1840. Joseph Smith Papers. Yeah, a large group. Yeah, he was doing all the converting. So everybody believed that he's the one in charge now. That's why he was able to fool people. No. Well, sort of. He was anointed king in his second anointing in January of 1846. Heber C. Kimball gave him that blessing. And then there was the winter quarters period where they all agree that he's the president. And then there's the official one where he becomes the president in 1851 and says, we're now practicing polygamy. We're going to get these United States. Blames them for the murder of Joseph when it was him that ordered it. And so, yeah. You shouldn't have gone to the church for this information, CNN. They just lied to you. You don't even have 1887 when the Edmunds-Tucker Act shut down the church. They took it out. I don't see the Reed-Smoot hearings. Took those out. Why are you putting in Monson and not a continuous line of... The church launches Mormon and gay. Gonna round them all up. They do have James J. Homula's excommunication. They don't say that he had been in the church history department. And he was a lawyer. They were asking him to do a favor, though, and he said no, so he had to be excommunicated. And none of the sex scandals. Church responds to the whistleblower complaint, saying, yeah, he's right, we're violating tax law. What are you going to do about it? Parable of talents. The IRS does not accept that as an acceptable answer for a 1005C or whatever it was, 1050C, whatever the non-tax or the tax-free thing is. Yeah. Pretty much a month and a half. That's all they shut down the church for coronavirus. That's it. They helped spread and escalate the virus here in Utah because of it. And YouTube has been perpetuating those lies upon the public. Because in the beginning, people were saying, oh, it was the bats at the market. And then it was only Fox News that was saying that it was the research lab out there. And our own intelligence came out with a report saying, we don't know, China won't let us find out. But yeah, both theories could be true. So, yeah, they're counting baptism numbers for our membership stats, not the people who attend church. If they gave the attendance numbers, yeah, you'd know who the real Mormons are, that's for sure. So, yeah. Jared Kushner finally breaks his silence. So, yeah, CNN botches it again. But at least they didn't put the 1835 edition in there for the start of it. But yeah, they still botched it by putting in 1831. It actually began in 1832. It actually began in 1832 when Heber C. Kimball was baptized. He was a secret polygamist. He had married a wife in 1829, was having kids with her. Didn't inform the missionaries. Of course, he talks about 5 who joined, and no, Joseph Smith, 2 by 2. That's it, 2 by 2, not 5s. So there's something really wrong with Heber C. Kimball. He just loves to lie.